Do you guys remember Beverly Hills Chihuahua?
What can make you move? Chihuahua. Can you feel the groove? Chihuahua. What can make you dance? Chihuahua. Oh, Chihuahua.
I had completely forgotten about it until recently when it was leaked that there was a canceled cartoon pilot for the series. So that got me interested in revisiting this movie franchise and watching the pilot. As a child, I only watched the first one, so this is going to be the first time I've watched the second and third movies. Anyway, the first movie starts in a fictional version of Beverly Hills. I say fictional because I genuinely hope there isn't actually a dog salon and a dog boutique, but knowing rich people, I'm probably wrong. The first dog we meet is Chloe, a Chihuahua voiced by Dancing in the Rain enthusiast Drew Barrymore.
Whenever you can go out into the rain, do not miss the opportunity!
And her owner, Viv, played by Pink Power Ranger cosplayer Jamie Lee Curtis. At the salon, we also meet Chloe's dog friends, black stereotype poodle, gay stereotype pug, and unimportant Yorkie. After various rich people moments, we're finally introduced to George Lopez's character Papi, and his owner Sam, but they did not say his name. Okay, they said his name 3 times.
I'm Sam. Sam.
2 of those times are in the background, so it's really only once. Anyway, Papi and Sam are Viv's gardeners.
Oh, no, she didn't.
It's not that I have a problem with that word, but actually, I am a landscaper.
We learn Viv is going on a trip and needs her niece, expert chair sitter, Rachel, to watch Chloe while she's gone because the dog nanny, yes, the dog nanny, canceled.
Well, she's not just any Chihuahua, Angela. She's a bossy, arrogant, manipulative Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
He said it! From here, we actually get a plot to this movie, as Rachel and her friends are going to... She brings Chloe, who gets kidnapped, purely because a random man has access to Rachel's room, something that is completely glossed over. Anyway, Chloe is picked up by the dumbest villains in a movie I've ever seen. For one, they pick up a random Chihuahua and throw it into a dogfighting ring with a Doberman. Now, the Chihuahua has a diamond collar and a dress, and they decide that'll be a good opponent for a Doberman. But don't worry, Chloe does not have to fight the Doberman. Purely because there is a door lever at dog level, Chloe is saved by Delgado, a German Shepherd she met in the cages of the dogfighting ring. And the rest of the movie is just Chloe trying to get back to Beverly Hills with Delgado, Rachel, Sam, and Papi trying to look for Chloe, and the Doberman Diablo looking for Chloe to ransom her this time, instead of just doing that the first time. Thing is, I don't think Sam and Rachel are actually dedicated to finding Chloe, because in the middle of their search, they stop and take in 2 strays and have a bath montage just to establish a relationship between Sam and Rachel. We're also treated to a CGI iguana and rat who steal Chloe's collar, and we learn Delgado is actually a police dog, and his handler got killed by Diablo in a dramatic, tragic flashback sequence. As for Diablo, he doesn't appear much, but we do get the intro for his new A&E series.
It's the event of the season, an all-new Dog the Bounty Hunter, Wednesday at 9 on A&E.
After a while, Chloe and Delgado are cornered by mountain lions, but are saved by a horde of Chihuahuas. The Chihuahuas take them back to their secret Aztec ruins and teach Chloe...
We are tiny, but we are mighty!
In these scenes, we also get 2 important character flaws. 1, Delgado can't smell.
Next day I woke up and couldn't smell a thing.
And 2, Chloe can't bark. Both of which are introduced towards the end of the movie and are easily resolved in the climax. Speaking of the climax, everything comes together as Chloe and Delgado are found by a couple of park rangers who call Sam and Rachel, but Diablo dognaps Chloe again and take her to a different set of ancient Aztec ruins. Delgado regains his scent, leads the cops, Rachel, Sam, and Papi to the ruins to save Chloe. Chloe then saves Papi by producing a bark loud enough to cause the ruins to collapse. Delgado is brought back into the police force, and the others return to Beverly Hills just in time to have the parents are almost home trope and establish that Rachel and Sam, along with Chloe and Papi, are now in relationships.
Oh, Chloe. Papi likes.
So yeah, that's the original Beverly Hills Chihuahua movie. I don't have that many problems with it, but Chloe does not get that much development, even though they try to paint it like she does. Anyway, there's 3 more entries in this franchise, so let's move on to the pilot. I believe this pilot was made shortly after the 3rd movie. However, it's clearly set between the 1st and the 2nd movie, because they don't have puppies yet, and there's a callback to Chloe's tiny but mighty bark that happened at the end of the 1st movie. Aside from that, this is just a generic Disney Junior cartoon that really only has a surface level plot. set of Chloe and Papi, who for the first and only time is not voiced by George Lopez, work as servants to a parrot. There's also a chameleon that serves no purpose. Rachel and Sam do not appear in it at all. However, Aunt Viv does. Obviously, they save the parrot from getting kidnapped, and that's pretty much it for this cartoon. We can just move on to the second movie, made 3 years after the original, with none of the original actors returned aside from George Lopez. While we lose a Pink Power Ranger cosplayer, we gain an actual Pink Ranger, who's playing Rachel from now on. The movie opens with a full-on dog wedding at a church, and we learn Aunt Viv and Rachel are going to barely be in this movie as they'll be spending 6 months in the Amazon. Then we get a 4-month time skip. We find out that Chloe and Papi have already had puppies. There are 3 girl puppies and 1 boy puppy, Allie, Pep, Rosa, and Papi Jr. Little mistake here, there's actually 5 puppies. I missed Lala. I don't know how I missed the one named after a Teletubby, but I did, so forgive any time I say there's only 4 puppies. Papi Jr. is voiced by Greg Heffley. So for the last 4 months, Sam has been looking after the dogs, and today they are going to a dog park in Beverly Hills, where we get to see various rich dog moments.
Bow wow! Bow wow!
There's only one main reason for this scene to even be in this movie, and that is to introduce the first of many antagonists of this movie, a French poodle who is not actually French.
Oh, enough with that fake accent. Everyone knows you're from the valley.
Is the 3-time winner of the local dog show. So I think you can guess what the plot of this movie is. Sam takes the dogs to his parents' house, where we meet Pedro, a dog played by Ernie Hudson, who likes to smile, and that is his only character trait. Sam discovers his parents are going to lose the house, so now they have a reason to enter the dog show. One thing I found really funny though was that Chloe and Papi tell the kids
go in the backyard and play. It's time for the adults to talk.
As if the 2 Chihuahuas are going to be part of the conversation in any meaningful way. For more exposition, we have Sam and his parents at the bank, where we are introduced to our next villain, Arwen from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now, Arwen is obsessed with cats, and that is painted as weird, while the people who are obsessed with dogs are normal. And these people are obsessed with their dogs. The puppies get their own room, and because they have their own room and are unsupervised, Greg Heffley falls out of the window and dies. I'm kidding, he's saved by Delgado, but he could have died. Now I bet you're wondering why Delgado's here, and why he doesn't have his Mexican accent anymore. That first one is explained because he's here to meet his children, who are police dogs in Beverly Hills, meaning he has been to Beverly Hills before, even though he had trouble getting Chloe back there in the previous movie. And as for the second thing, it is never explained. The next day, Arwen returns with some workers to inspect the house. What follows is multiple minutes of dogs fucking with these people in an attempt to get rid of them. But the only result is that they get kicked out sooner, and I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know anything about California residential law. I don't think they can just foreclose on a house early just because some dogs mess with them. So for the time being, Sam and his parents are going to be living in Aunt Viv's mansion. And they finally come up with the idea to enter the dog show, where Mr. Mosby is the judge. So we have Chloe, Papi, Pedro, and Delgado entering the competition against the poodle and a bunch of other nobodies. Delgado was eliminated in the first round, Pedro was eliminated the next round because he smiles, and Chloe is eliminated because she messed up the last note on her piano solo.
Oops.
Which makes you really wonder if this competition is rigged. Even the people in the movie are upset about this, but Mr. Mosby doesn't care. That leaves only Papi, who then immediately gets disqualified, purely because he's not a purebred and doesn't have any papers. Yes, they eliminated the Mexican character because he doesn't have papers. So the poodle wins again. He's clearly sleeping with the poodle's owner. Yeah, they lost, and there's nothing that happens to the poodle. There's no like comeuppance for this poodle or the owner. They just win. But I bet you're wondering, how do they save the house? They have to save the house. Well, conveniently, the bank that Arwen works at is now getting robbed. And of course the puppies had to play into this finale somehow, so they go to stop the robbery. And when they see the puppies on the TV, Sam immediately takes the rest of the dogs to an active crime scene, which leads to probably the funniest moment in this entire franchise.
You guys wait here. No way. Those are my kids you're talking about. Come on, let's go.
Like, dude, if you want the dogs to stay put, just crack a window and shut the door, because they're obviously gonna leave. Anyway, the dogs chase the robbers to a bread factory, where they beat the absolute shit out of them. Delgado makes up with his sons, and guess what? The bank robbers had a bounty big enough to save the house. So now everyone is happy, plus Sam and Rachel get engaged.
Papi likes.
This ending is so weird because the whole movie, it sets up the dog show as the big like climax of the movie, and then that's just kind of like a waste of time. And then they have to introduce the bank robbers at the last minute to actually give the puppy something to do and to save the house. But other than that, I do think it's like slightly better than the original movie. So now that I've covered the first 2 movies and the pilot, we now have the worst movie I think I've ever seen. The first 2 movies are watchable. This third movie drops off in quality like you wouldn't believe. It's insane. And we're treated to that insanity right off the bat with 2 CGI birds who serve no symbolic meaning, and they're just there. Why they had to CGI in birds is beyond me. But this movie also has narrators, unlike the first 2 movies. Our narrators are a group of mariachi dogs who do play into the movie, but you'll notice they have instruments that dogs cannot physically play. One of them has a trumpet. Also, they stand on their hind legs throughout the whole movie. Moving on to the actual movie though, we see Chloe and Pedro are now living with Rachel and Sam, and it's never addressed why. They both have their own owners. Like Chloe is Aunt Viv's dog, and Aunt Viv does not show up in this movie at all. She's only mentioned a few times to establish that they're living in her guest house. And Sam's parents are never mentioned, so I can presume they died because why is Pedro living with them? But that's not it, because Greg Heffley Dog does not return. Instead, we have Gumball Dog now. Worst, however, is that they could not get Pedro's actor back. Not Ernie Hudson, he's back. I mean the dog that could smile on command. So for this movie, they instead have to use CGI, and it's worse than anything in any horror movie I've ever seen. Anyway, for the plot of this movie, we follow Rachel, Sam, and Chloe getting jobs at a fancy hotel. Rachel gets a job as a chef in the hotel kitchen, because apparently she's been in culinary school this whole time. Sam, of course, gets the job as a landscaper. Why he quit working for Aunt Viv is beyond me, but you know. And Chloe is the mascot for the hotel because she's apparently famous in Beverly Hills. Meanwhile, Papi and the gay stereotype pug from the first movie, now voiced by Tom Kenny, are planning a quinceañera for one of the puppies. Only one of them gets the party. The others just have to sit on the sidelines. Pedro gets a romance, and there's an evil dog and owner plotting against the hotel, and Papi has to stop them somehow. But nobody believes him because everybody loves the dog and owner. The most this movie has for a plot is the quinceañera planning, but even then, it's kind of spread out between the whole movie because there's so many other subplots that's going on. Every character is just doing their own thing, and they sloppily come together at the end. Another huge problem with this movie though is that they humanize the dogs way too much. In the first 2 movies, they're mostly just dogs. They're just normal dogs. The most human thing they do is Chloe playing the piano and the poodle painting a picture in the previous movie, but even then, there are dogs that play the piano and paint pictures, so it's not really that much of a disconnect. In this movie, however, there are multiple dog bands who are purely there to make puns, and the finale where the dogs completely destroy, then repair the landscaping that Sam built. Speaking of the finale, Delgado shows up, ties up a random guy so that they can catch the evil dog and owner.
I can't go to jail. I've never even been created. I can't take enclosed spaces. Come on, throw me a bone here. I'm innocent. Oh, come on, man. If the collar don't fit, you must have quit.
Rachel gets a promotion, and they have the quinceañera, where every dog shows up wearing floaties because that was the puppy's main subplot, was swimming.
Papi, you're a good dad, a good friend, and a good dog.
I get it though, it's a movie about talking dogs, I shouldn't care this much. But I do, like the first 2 movies actually go together. The first movie is about a Chihuahua from Beverly Hills learning about her ancestors and culture in Mexico, while the second movie is about a Mexican Chihuahua who wants to teach his culture to his children navigating life in Beverly Hills. They go together. The first and second movies are reflections of one another.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
The third movie does not fit into that at all, because it's just a bunch of side plots with a quinceañera crammed into the middle. So why did I make this video? Honestly, I just thought it would be funny. I didn't think this movie would piss me off this much. But I think this series has taught me that if you're going to make a sequel, make sure it makes sense, even if it's just a shitty movie about talking chihuahuas. But what do I know? The third movie has the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Chihuahua. Oh, Chihuahua. Chihuahua.
We're the king of all dogs, yo, and we ain't playing. Don't you bark in our direction, that's